For all the Arsenal fans hoping to see Mesut Ozil back on the pitch for Mikel Arteta, this is a tough ask and highly unlikely to happen after the 32-year-old German international was excluded from the club's 25-man English Premier League and Europa League squads in October. Arteta took the managerial reins at the Emirates after replacing the Spanish tactician Unai Emery, who couldn't take the club to the latter stages of the Europa League. He failed to change their fortunes despite being given 18 months at the helm. The former Sevilla manager got the axe, following the club's poor performances on the pitch and their longest winless run since 1992. Speaking on Ozil's omission from the squad, Arteta admitted that it was a difficult decision to exclude the German footballer from the squad, but he highlighted that it was because of sporting reasons. He has had the opportunities like everybody else. I'm sad that I had to leave 3 players out of this list, which is never pleasant, but I just have to say that I tried to look everybody in the eye and be comfortable with it. With Mesut, I have this feeling because I have been very straightforward since I arrived at this club, said the former Man City head coach. But despite the recent struggles, Ozil said he will always be proud of his decision to join the London-based club. Speaking on his move, he said, "There have been many ups and downs so far, but all in all, I've never regretted my decision to join Arsenal," he said. But the out-of-favour midfielder could not hide his frustration and took to social media after being excluded from the 25-man squad in October. "I will continue to train as best as I can and wherever possible use my voice against inhumanity and for justice." It's true that the Premier League clubs will be updating their squad members at the end of the January transfer window, but it's difficult to expect Arteta to make a U-turn on his decision to banish the highest paid player in the team and include him in the squad, knowing that the Gunners are desperately lacking a creative presence in the middle of the park. Ozil became the club's record signing after the London-based club paid a mammoth £42.5 million for his services to Real Madrid, and it started so well for the World Cup winner at the Emirates under Arsene Wenger. The former Schalke player justified his price tag after becoming the first player ever in the Premier League to reach 50 assists in 141 appearances. He went on to win 3 FA Cups and was named Arsenal Player of the Season once during his 7-year stint with the English club. Ozil had a fantastic first season at the Emirates with plenty of goals and assists to his name during the 2015-16 campaign. He went on to score 6 and make 19 assists during his fantastic debut season. The second season wasn't too bad either, with 4 goals and 9 assists in 26 games. But things started to get complicated after the player started having fitness issues. His creativity started to fade away slowly, and his rather weak performances limited him to just 5 goals and 2 assists in 2018-19. Ozil remained on the treatment table due to back and knee injuries, which limited him to just 18 appearances the entire last season.
You know, like I started with 16, 17 to play professional football. It always was like that, up and downs, the people like me or doesn't like me.
As things stand, the creative midfielder has not played a single match since March, and Ozil has nobody to blame but himself for his current situation at the Emirates. So the question arises, from where has it all gone wrong? I think the first thing is to admit that this hasn't been an overnight thing. Perhaps some of his off-the-field actions were the reason for his gradual decline, along with his dipping form, which we already discussed. Like many other footballers, the former Werder Bremen midfielder uses social media platforms to connect with his followers, but his decision to go out in public and share some of his opinions didn't go down too well with the audience down the years. It all started when Ozil raised his voice against the persecution of Uyghur Muslims in China through his Twitter account, and it didn't go down well for the club, who could not afford to lose the huge Chinese market. The London-based club quickly distanced themselves from the player's statement. The content published is Ozil's personal opinion. As a football club, Arsenal has always adhered to the principle of not involving itself in politics. Arsenal announced earlier in August that they're laying off 55 non-playing staff due to the financial impact of the ongoing pandemic. The first team was directed to take a 12.5% pay cut due to the same. However, Ozil refused to take a pay cut, making the senior management furious over the star player's decision. The midfielder came in for a lot of criticism on social media for not cooperating with the club, who wanted to save money during the pandemic-enforced shutdown. The German international landed a significant blow to the Gunners after he offered to pay the wages of the club's mascot, Gunnosaurus, for almost 27 years at the Emirates Stadium. Ozil was saddened by the sacking of the mascot by the club and confirmed that he will pay the wages unless he is reinstated by Gunners. But again, this gesture didn't go down too well with the London club. But if we see it from another perspective, the Gunners splashed the cash on new signings during the same period after firing a good number of people from their staff. They managed to sign Thomas Partey from Atletico Madrid after triggering the player's £45 million release clause and Gabriel from Lille for a reported €30 million during the summer transfer window. Despite the controversies surrounding him, Ozil is also one of the most generous footballers around, donating millions of dollars in charity and helping the starving, sick and the homeless. He donated a notable sum to a charity organisation started by Marcus Rashford recently. And it's not that Arsenal didn't try offloading Ozil during the last transfer window. The German midfielder's $350,000 weekly wages remain a big issue for any club to consider signing him. If rumours are to be believed, the Gunners tried to send Ozil out on loan during the last summer transfer window, but the transfer failed to materialise following the player's high wage demands. The Gunners wanted to send him on loan to the Serie A champions Juventus, but the Italian outfit refused to pay the full wages. The Italian outfit rather wanted the Gunners to pay a significant portion of the player's wages. Ozil still has a few months remaining on his contract, but it's still unclear where the 2014 world champion will end up after his contract runs out in the summer. A return to Schalke has never been an option for Ozil, but there are still people who have not yet given up hope on this. As a result, the 32-year-old talked about this during a Q&A on Twitter about whether he could return to Schalke. "I don't want to steal the show from Sead Kolasinac, who returned to Schalke," wrote the player, then added, "To be honest, no. I will always have sympathy for Schalke and I wholeheartedly wish them all the best. For me, that's not currently an option." Ozil does not intend to retire after his rather disappointing spell at the Emirates. The creative midfielder is carefully weighing his next move, knowing that his days at Arsenal are numbered. According to various reports, Turkish club Fenerbahce and Major League Soccer team DC United are said to be his preferred destinations. His agent Erkut Sogut confirmed that the German international is weighing up different options before making a final decision until summer when his contract with the London club comes to an end. Of course, there are many clubs interested in him. This has never changed, but his willingness to honour his contract and play hasn't changed either. Again, he's a man of his word, loyal, and loyalty is hard to find in these times, Sogut told beIN Sports. It is not an easy situation. He loves the club and the fans, and is deeply sorry that he's not been given a chance this season. But Ozil, who is earning a staggering £350,000 a week, made it more clear for his fans after reflecting on his choice lately. "There are two countries I want to play football in before I retire, Turkey and the US. If I went to Turkey, I could only go to Fenerbahce," Ozil said during a Q&A session with fans on Twitter. Fenerbahce are reportedly making every effort to sign the La Liga winner. It was earlier reported that the Turkish club's president, Ali Koç, former player Emre Belözoğlu and Acun Ilıcalı had a meeting with Ozil in London. The president of the club reportedly wanted Ozil to sign immediately during the January transfer window. However, the 32-year-old star has refused for now. The German star respects his current contract with the English club and has said that the Turkish giants will have to wait until the end of the current season. The salary issue was also reportedly discussed during the meeting. Ozil asked for €5 million annually, along with a signing-on bonus. Since his request will reach €8 million including taxes, President Ali Koç said, "Then see you in June," and left the meeting. Both parties are planning to hold another meeting in June to finalise the transfer. Let's be honest and think, who would like to pay that much in wages for a player who hasn't played for more than 9 months? And that too, not because of injury, but because of his attitude and controversial statements on social media. Ozil still has a lot to offer if given a chance. Sadly though, we might never be able to see the former German international ever realise his full potential, possibly due to his perceived attitude and lack of commitment.